You might not even realize it, but some common habits as a tourist make you stand out for all the wrong reasons. In today's video, we're covering 10 things you should never do as a tourist, so you can travel smarter, show respect, and avoid embarrassing situations. Everything that I talk about in today's video relates to almost anywhere you travel in the world. Even one bonus item that will help you connect with cultures like you never have before. Probably could have also titled this video Tourist Etiquette 101, but anyway, let's get into it. Number 1, don't assume everyone speaks your language. One of the biggest mistakes tourists make is assuming that everyone speaks their language, especially English. While many people in major cities might know some, not everyone is fluent. A simple hello or thank you in the local language can go a long way. Plus, using translation apps or gestures show respect and effort. Spending a bit of time learning some basic phrases in the local language is a great way to take your travel experience to the next level.
Baliucha, Hami Baliucha, Zamzam.
Bistarai, 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 bistarai means slowly, slowly. Bistarai, bistarai.
Meg and I have also found that locals notice the extra effort, therefore you might be exposed to some experiences and recommendations that they maybe would not have shared with other tourists, being that you connected with them differently, trying to speak their language. Minam Inoho. We're learning. This happened to us in Thailand when we were invited to a local Muay Thai fight, which is something we would have never even known was a thing if we had not made that connection. Not to mention, she also invited us over for dinner before the fight. So do yourself a favor and learn a couple of things in the local language and don't assume everyone speaks your language. Number 2, don't disrespect local customs and dress codes. Not every destination has the same customs when it comes to clothing or social behavior. In many religious or conservative places, wearing shorts or sleeveless tops might be disrespectful, or even something as simple as removing your shoes before entering a home or business. Do a little research before you go. Some places even provide coverings, but it's best to be prepared. This is a mistake you don't want to make. Number 3, don't take photos or videos without permission. This is something I am becoming increasingly more conscious of, and is something I'm going to admit am not perfect at. I film so much on my travels, mostly for this YouTube channel, and posting them in a public place, I need to be aware that not everybody wants their face posted on socials or the internet. Just because somebody is in a public place doesn't mean they want their photo or video taken. Always ask before taking pictures, especially in indigenous communities or religious sites. One example of this is the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican Museum, where no photos or videos are allowed. When Meg and I visited there, it was incredibly frustrating how many tourists were not respecting that rule. However, I did respect the museum curators who were putting their hands in front of cameras to prevent photos. I thought that was kind of funny. Number 4, don't ignore local businesses. I would recommend skipping the tourist traps and chain restaurants and trying to support locals. Eating at a family-owned restaurant, shopping at small businesses, and hiring local guides not only gives you a more authentic experience, but it also helps the local economy. This is the best way to have a truly authentic experience on your travels. Number 5, don't be rude about food or dining etiquette. Food is a huge part of culture, so be open-minded. Experiencing new foods is a great way to increase your comfort zone and give you some valuable insight into local cultures. If you're visiting a country where eating with your hands is the norm, go with it. So again, it might not be a bad idea to do a little research and check what you can expect before dining out. What is a food or dining experience that you have had on your travels that has pushed you out of your comfort zone? Let me know down in the comments. I know I have had quite a few. Got a little stinger on the end there.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Couple of flies. So yeah, keep an open mind and try new things. Number 6, Don't ignore leave no trace principles. Now, if you're not a backpacker or camper, you might be unfamiliar with the leave no trace principle. Basically, the leave no trace principle is to leave the environment you come in contact with as you found it or in better condition. But I believe this principle applies to not just camping, but all travel. So avoid littering, dispose of your waste properly, use trails when suggested, respect wildlife and human life for that matter. By not being conscious of your impact when traveling, you could be contributing to the issue we have with over-tourism in certain destinations. With this practice of leaving no trace, we can all experience popular tourist destinations the way they were intended for years to come. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far and getting value out of it, please give it a thumbs up as well as subscribe to our channel for more content like this. It is much appreciated. Number 7, don't be loud and disruptive. Not every place is a party zone. Keep your voice down in museums, on public transportation, and at religious sites. In some cultures, even speaking loudly at restaurants or transportation is considered rude. The goal is to not be the center of attention when you travel. And keeping your noise down is one way to better blend in. Number 8, don't break local laws and rules. What might be okay at home could be illegal elsewhere, like chewing gum in Singapore, jaywalking in Germany, alcohol in Saudi Arabia, or even drinking alcohol in public in certain countries is against the law. Again, the goal as a tourist to properly experience the culture and joys of traveling is to blend in and create the least amount of friction possible. So it is in your best interest to understand local laws to avoid any uncomfortable experiences while traveling. Ignorance won't get you out of trouble, so try and know the rules before you go. A popular one we noticed on our travels was tourists getting pulled over in Bali for not wearing a helmet on a motorbike. This was a very easy thing to do, not only to keep you safe, but to avoid issues with the law. That one was a little confusing to us and why so many people tried to not wear a helmet. I don't really get that, but you should definitely follow local laws and rules. Number 9, don't haggle too aggressively. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying you should not haggle. Personally, I actually really enjoy this aspect of other cultures and find it to be a great way to connect with locals. Remember, haggling is just a conversation. It's not an argument and takes a bit of practice, especially for those of us where negotiating price on things is not a part of our normal cultural practice. Haggling is a common practice all over the world, especially in Asia, Latin America, and North Africa. If you travel to any of these countries where haggling is a part of their culture, I would highly recommend testing out your skills because it can be really fun. With that said though, don't go overboard. Remember, the goal is to support local. So once you have haggled your price down a bit, don't stress about those few extra dollars or even cents you could have saved by more aggressive negotiation. It feels good to get a fair price all while supporting a hard-working vendor. Believe it or not, this is actually a mistake that Meg and I have made before, and that is why I am taking the time to explain this, because even if you're not an aggressive person, it can be easy to go a bit overboard when haggling, even if it's not your intention. One example of this is when we were in Nepal, we were buying some masala tea, and they have amazing tea in Nepal. But anyway, we were haggling this price down, we were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, we ended up leaving, getting the tea, and we come to realize that we were haggling over quite literally a few pennies. And we felt kind of bad about that after we left, being that we were trying to negotiate a few pennies cheaper. It really just wasn't worth it. So make sure that you understand the currency that you're paying in compared to your normal currency, so that way you don't go overboard. Ultimately, it's just a great way to integrate yourself into that culture, but remember, we want to support locals, so don't get too concerned over the dollars and cents. Number 10, don't forget to tip or tip incorrectly. Tipping customs vary widely. While it's expected here in the US, in Japan, leaving a tip can actually be not accepted or could even be considered insulting. Before you go, check what the tipping culture is in your destination. Being aware of this will help you avoid awkward situations and ensure that your expressions of gratitude are received positively. I actually find the no tipping culture to be way more simple based on what I've experienced in other countries. I'm going to leave you with one bonus item to think about that will really set you apart as being a good tourist, and that is leaving a positive impression. being a great tourist isn't just about what not to do. It's about leaving a positive impact. So keep in mind everything that we talked about in today's video. Show appreciation, respect the environment, and support local communities. Just as you want positive and comfortable experiences on your travels when visiting new cultures, so do locals when people visit their home. So leave a positive impression, not only so you have amazing trips, but also so that those that come after you do as well. So, which of these mistakes have you seen, or maybe even made yourself? Let me know down in the comments. I hope this video shed some light on a few things you should be thinking about as a tourist. If you're looking to be more prepared as a tourist and not break the bank on buying travel products, I would suggest watching this video here where I cover a bunch of different travel products that are under $20 that I bring with me on almost every single trip. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We will see you in the next video.